Welcome to your weekly Money Miracles video for the week of May 23rd. And as I promised last week, I'm going to give you a powerful money manifestation technique this week. I'm also going to tell you about some past and upcoming events as usual, and member highlight, and this week's book. You don't want to miss this overview, this highlight of this book, which is one of my favorites. So we'll get into that in a few seconds. So let's talk about this money manifestation technique. Each week, I meet with 10 to 15 people to discuss my brand new individual fast track prosperity coaching program. And this program moves emerging entrepreneurs to the next level, and especially for those who are not yet generating significant income. Many of the people I talk to immediately say, I probably can't afford you, or similar words to that effect. So here's a technique you can use to generate the money you need to work with me or to create anything you want. Act as if it's already here. So what steps would you take if you were already working with me? Set aside an hour a week for the meeting and another 1 to 2 hours for the follow-ups. Schedule it into your calendar. Actually fill out a financial freedom survey. You can do that from my website, from the homepage. Or if you want to fill out the money personality type survey, reach out to me and I'll send it to you. It'll take you 3 to 5 minutes. You could visualize earning an extra $10,000 a month. What would you do with the money? So act as if. This is a powerful manifestation technique. It works. So let's talk about some past and upcoming events. I'm really excited to announce that I'll be speaking at Michael Whitehouse's Meta Prosperity Summit on June 5th. The summit is to create extraordinary entrepreneur lifestyle. We'll be working with you to provide authentic strategies to grow your impact and income that are built around service, creating value, and solving your operational problems. You'll learn honest marketing strategies, growth mindset, and operational efficiency directly with all the speakers, including me. This event, again, it's held on June 5th from 11 a.m. to Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. It's a bit different from others you might have been at. It's interactive. This means the speakers won't be speaking at you. You'll be talking with you. And all the speakers in the summit will be engaging directly with the audience. And the audience is encouraged to engage with one another. This summit will sell out. And I promised Michael 10 people. I've already had a few people sign up. So sign up today. The link is below this video and in your email. Last week, my interview with Angela Roberts on the Ramblings podcast went live. In this episode of the Ramblings, I discussed teaching 10 specific manifestation techniques, including the one I just gave you. I talked about DIY investing, my 5-step proprietary stock screen, and my 7-step real estate screen, which is all outlined in my book, The 9 Money Rules Millionaires Use. And I also explained when an owner should reach out for help versus doing it DIY. My interview with Randy Wilson on the Rich Mind podcast was just awesome. He had some really interesting questions, including what I would tell my 20-year-old self and what my biggest life challenge was and how I overcame it. You can watch previous episodes. I'll put the link below the video, and my episode will be out in just a few days. I was also interviewed on the Minding Your Minutes podcast, and you can find past episodes in the link below. Brigitte and I talk about her breakthroughs as a client of mine, the importance of giving generously, and how sitting at home and visualizing, meditating all day, just doing that won't create the abundance you desire. And finally, in today's changing world, it's important to have the skills to keep your business afloat. Want to learn how? Save the dates. You don't want to miss this conference called Recession Proof Your Business. It's with Les Brown, Forbes Riley, Sharon Lechter, and me. And the dates are August 18th to 20th. Sign up with the link below this video or from my email. And this coming week, I'm also being interviewed on 2 powerful podcasts, and I'll tell you about those next week. So let's talk about our member highlight. Each week I highlight a member of my network. This week it's Amy Schenkel. Amy is a lifestyle mentor and virtual Reiki practitioner. The goal of Reiki is to encourage physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual healing by aligning the body's energy. And what makes Amy unique is she takes her love of Reiki, self-care, and coaching and incorporates it so her clients can become more educated on clean skincare, clean nutrition products, and most importantly, to help them make self-care a priority in their lives. This is especially important for the busy professional who struggles with making better self-care choices. Please reach out to Amy at aimee.schenkel@gmail.com or amyschenkel.arbonne.com. amyschenkel@arbonne.com. So let's talk about the book. Each week I'm highlighting a book that I've read. This past week I finished one of my favorite investing books of all time. It's called The Most Important Thing by Howard Marks. He's the co-founder of Oaktree, an amazing investor. And I wanted to give you some quotes from the book. 1, a credible, if unspectacular result can be achieved by the average investor with a minimal amount of effort and capability. Mark says he wants to emphasize the most that one's investment approach should be intuitive and adaptive rather than fixed and mechanistic. And by the way, this is rule number 2 in the 9 money rules millionaires use. I hadn't read this book before I wrote that. 3, would-be investors can take courses in finance and accounting, read widely, and if they are fortunate, receive mentoring from someone with a deep understanding of the investment process. But only a few of them will achieve the superior insight, intuition, sense of value, and awareness of psychology that's required for consistently above average results. 4, if you have had a good experience with a product, buy the product. There's so much more than that to being a successful investor. 5, extraordinary performance comes only from correct non-consensus forecasts. 6, unconventionality shouldn't be a goal in itself, but a way of thinking. 7, the joke. A student says, "Isn't that a $10 bill lying on the floor?" And the professor says, "No, it can't be. If it were, someone would have picked it up." And the professor walks away, and the student is $10 richer. Value investors buy stocks out of conviction that the current value is high relative to the current price, and growth investors buy stocks because they believe the value will grow fast enough in the future to produce substantial results. It's bad being too far ahead. You find a stock that worth 80, trading at 60, and you buy it. But what do you do when it goes to 50? Buy more or sell? So here's my comment. Have a plan in place beforehand. 10, value investors score their biggest gains when they buy an underpriced asset, average down unfailingly, and have their analysis proved out. Thus, there are 2 essential ingredients for profit in a declining market. You have to have a view on fair value, and you have to hold that view strong enough to hold on and buy, even as price decline suggests you're wrong. And oh yes, you have to be right. 11, there's no such thing as a good or bad idea regardless of price. 12, why do I say risk assessment is such an essential element in the investment process? Risk is a bad thing, and most level-headed people want to avoid it or minimize it. When you're considering an investment, your decision should be a function of the risk entailed as well as the potential return. When you consider investment results, the return means only so much by itself. The risk taken has to be assessed as well. 13, risk is the likelihood of losing money. But is it over 1 year or over the life of the investment? 14, let's say you make an investment that works out as expected. Does that mean it wasn't risky? You bought it at 100 and sold at 200. Was it risky? Who knows? Or if you lost 50%, was it risky? Or that it should have been perceived as risky at the time it was analyzed and entered into. 15, here's the key to risk. It's largely a matter of opinion. 16, In investing, as in life, there are very few sure things. Two concepts hold with confidence. One, most things will prove to be cyclical. And two, some of the greatest opportunities for gain and loss come when other people forget. Rule number 1. 17, the 3 stages of bear market are: 1, when just a few thoughtful investors recognize, despite the prevailing bullishness, that things won't always be rosy. 2, when most investors recognize things are deteriorating. And 3, when everyone's convinced things can only get worse. 18, the silver bullet doesn't exist. There is no strategy that produces high rates of return without risk, and nobody has all the answers. We're all just human. 19, emotions serve to undermine investors' efforts. These are some of the emotions that undermine investors' efforts. 1, greed. 2, fear. 3, the suspension of disbelief. 4, the tendency to conform to the view of the herd, which is hard to resist. 5, envy. 6, ego. And 7, capitulation, a regular feature of investors late in cycles. Investors hold to their convictions as long as they can before they surrender and jump on the bandwagon. 20, there's nothing wrong with trying to make money. Indeed, the desire for gain is one of the most important elements in the workings of the market and the overall economy. And last, 21, the ultimately most profitable investment actions are by definition contrarian. You're buying when everyone else is selling, and you're selling when everyone else is buying. So thanks for watching. I believe in you.